Hello everyone, my name is Ryan Cam and welcome back to the AFI Project. Today we are going to be taking a look at Easy Rider. This was directed by Dennis Hopper. It also stars him and as well as Peter Fonda, who produced this movie. To try and explain the plot of this movie is kinda hard because it's a little almost too simple. The basic story goes that there are these two dudes, played by Fonda and Hopper, who just say, you know what, let's just ride our bikes, and let's just ride our bikes across the country. And that's exactly what they do. And it's all fueled by drugs, lots and lots and lots of drugs. In just about nearly every bit of research that I did for this review, I literally saw the word counterculture come up in some context or some form. And the basic consensus that I can say about Easy Rider is that this is the movie that played a heavy hand in creating a lot of the counterculture stuff that was experienced starting in like the early 70s. And this was yet another first-time watch for me, and I gotta say, this was a very weird movie to watch because for reasons I'll touch on in just a second, but on the whole, I did enjoy it. This is very much a passion project between Dennis Hopper and Peter Fonda. Fonda ended up paying for all of the travel expenses and food expenses out of pocket, and I mean, when you're the son of Henry Fonda, I'm sure you can afford to do that. And even though the budget for this movie was around $500,000, this movie spent about $1 million buying the licensing to use the songs in the soundtrack. And it was worth every dime, because the soundtrack in this movie is my favorite part of this movie. Songs like The Weight by the band and Born to Be Wild by Steppenwolf. I grew up listening to this music, so whenever one of those songs would kick on, I would be like Leonardo DiCaprio from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And I also found in my research that, well, the drugs that we see in this movie are in fact real drugs. And considering that Dennis Hopper was the one directing this movie, well, what I'm trying to get at is that this movie feels like these two actors aren't necessarily acting. They just feel like extensions of themselves. I didn't look too deep into whether or not Hopper and Fonda were legit friends in real life, but if they weren't, then I would be surprised, because the chemistry between the two was actually quite enjoyable. Peter Fonda would have a very long career in his own right, and Dennis Hopper is in one of my all-time favorite movies. He's Shooter in Hoosiers. I'm just glad this guy... edit that out. I'm just glad this movie just didn't get him started about picket fences. That's all I'm saying. The most prolific side character in the movie is Jack Nicholson, playing Jack Nicholson. I don't even know this character's name. Every time I saw him on screen, I was just like, well, I don't think he knows he's being filmed. I'm pretty sure Jack Nicholson just wandered on set one day and be like, hey, Peter, and then Peter's like, hey, Jack, you want to be in our movie? I'm 50% joking on that. But it's Jack Nicholson, and I can't hate any movie that he's in because he's Jack Nicholson. But as far as like a plot or deeper themes go, I don't think this movie really has a ton of them. I think this movie works because it feels like two guys who were legitimately just like, you know what, let's just ride our bikes. And that's legitimately what they did, and someone was filming it the whole time. There's definitely some minor themes about generational gaps and all of that, but really they're muted. There are some subtle themes of generational gaps and pacifism and all of that, but really those are just the side dish. But don't go into this movie thinking it's going to be like, oh, that's what life means. This movie is very much a product of its time. And at the end of the day, I think this movie works because it is such a snapshot of the late 60s and early 70s and the counterculture movement that was either on the rise or had already arisen. And that is all for me, guys. Thank you so much, as always, for watching. Next time on the AFI Project, we're going to be taking one more look at the Marx Brothers and talking about their 1935 film, A Night at the Opera. But if you like this video, please be sure to leave a like, comment your thoughts down below, and if you like this video and you want to see more like it, hit the subscribe button and click the bell to allow notifications. That way, when a new video drops, you'll be the first to know about it. My name is Ryan Cam, and I'll see you in the next one.